Hey there, Dan Martell here, serial entrepreneur, investor, and creator of SaaS Academy. In this episode, I'm going to share with you the who, not how, strategy for growth. And be sure to stay to the end where we're going to tell you how to get access to my Silicon Valley Secrets training. Literally 5 years immersed in Silicon Valley, learning the best growth strategies from the top marketers and entrepreneurs. I'm going to share with you how to get access to that at the end, but let's get into it. So the idea of the who, not how is essentially asking you the question, if you have something you want to accomplish, not how do I do it, but who do I need to bring into my life to help me do that sooner, better, or faster, okay? So I'm gonna tell you a quick story. When I was when I moved to San Francisco back in 2008, I wanted to build a software company, but I knew that I wanted to also take some time off. I'd at that point been building companies for literally 14 years, nonstop, 100-hour weeks, really felt like, okay, I just exited my company. Financially, I was incredibly in a good spot, and I'm not gonna rush to do anything else. But I had aspirations and motivation to do a startup company, to build a software company. And it wasn't until I met Ethan that I realized that this is the who that might unlock the potential to do this. So instead of me rushing to build this company, I actually gave all the idea, the code I'd built up to that point, because I had a full-time dedicated CTO working for me, Scott. And I gave the code and said, Ethan, this is your idea, run with it and let me be a business partner with you. And it was through that process of him CEOing the company. I didn't want to be CEO. I wanted to be building something, but I didn't want the responsibility. I found Ethan, we partnered on 50-50 partners. I brought the capital and the experience. He brought the tenacity, the obsession, and the focus, and the team management, and all things operations and CEO. And we ended up building this incredible company, raised venture capital, and eventually exiting for a lot of money about 2.5 years later. And I share that because even today, I've always known that. I learned this back in the day, that building teams and finding the right bench strength, that's the real unlock. For a lot of us, we think we need to know and do everything. And the truth is that if you can find the right person, that will allow you to unlock strategies that you might have thought were 3, 4, 5 years into the future and bring them forward. So great book if you want to read a book on the topic by Dan Sullivan. It's actually titled Who Not How. He may even have the copyright on this, but Dan, I just read this a few months ago. It inspired me to shoot this video because I've always thought through this. Another quick story. I'm on the board of a company called Pila Case. I invested with Jay-Z, the hip hop guy, and I sit on the board with this incredible team. Matt and Brad are the founders. And one day I remember asking Brad, because they had so many different initiatives going on, and I said, aren't you worried that we're doing too many things? Death by 1,000 paper cuts or not being focused. And he says, I understand why you're saying that, but the truth is we keep asking ourselves the who question, not the how question. So every new strategy that they were sharing, they could literally point to the driver, the GM, the entrepreneur that they partnered with to execute that into the market. And because of that, they had somebody that could spearhead it so that they didn't get bogged down by those new initiatives, and it allowed them to create bench strength and management bandwidth. That's the power. Here's what I got for you on how to do that for yourself. Number one, big projects. So the truth is you gotta have a big project. Why? Because if you're gonna find somebody that's the who, it needs to be big and interesting enough to be exciting for them to want to be part of it. Most people try to, have who questions on, small little tasks. That's not gonna get the juices flowing. That's not gonna get you excited. That's not gonna get you thinking about a bigger vision. I want you to think about what is possible for you over the next 3 years, and what are projects that if you had the right person to drive that, to spearhead that forward, that you would start today. If you had that person, I want you to just start imagining, collaborating, envisioning that project kicking off now, not 3 years in the future, because it may take you a year to find that person. But that who question, not the how question. A lot of people go down the path of getting the trainings and the books, and I'm a big fan of that. But at a certain scale, if you have the resources, the brand stature, and potentially the finances, finding the who is going to be way more strategic for you than learning the how and trying to manage another thing amongst your busy workload. Number two, bench strength. I've mentioned this earlier, but one of the most powerful things that you can start to develop today are the the people, the talent. Where do you find that talent? How do you get good at recruiting? Well, the reality is, as a CEO, there's 3 things you need to be good at. Number 1, setting the vision. Number 2, managing the money. And number 3, finding the right people. And to me, it's something you need to put in your calendar, invest in it. If you want to find the easiest way, just go up on Upwork. You know, one of my favorite ways to find the right who is to go up and find freelancers. Upwork.com, incredible resource. It's got a ton of different freelancers that you can reach out to, and because they have the expertise, they have the experience. So finding people, freelancers that you know, referrals, just find folks that are talented that you jive with and build that list and say, man, wouldn't it be amazing to work with these people one day, and just write their names down, okay? These incredible talent. I have a handful of friends that I'm just waiting for the opportunity for us to collaborate. And when we do, I know it's gonna create magic. I don't even have the specific project yet for us to work on, but I know their talents, I know their skill sets. We jive on a value basis. And once those 2 things come in, and I'm just gonna keep envisioning it, I'm telling you, magic will be created. But the key is to build that bench strength, to start sourcing and recruiting candidates for the who position, not the how. Number 3, partner with experience. This is going to be the most important thing. Do not find somebody that's doing nothing and give them something to do to take especially a big project off your plate. Find the people that are already doing the thing successfully. That's why I recommended freelancers, people that have the skill set, that have the experience. Real world example. A few months ago, I was thinking of potentially starting to look at buying other software companies outside of the portfolio that I'd already invested in. And I didn't have the bandwidth in my calendar based on the commitments that I made and my family and my business partners. So I just kept thinking about that problem. Who could I partner with? Who? Because I had this asset, I had this audience, I had this community. A lot of people reaching out to me saying, hey, I'm looking to sell. Can you recommend somebody for me to talk to? And I'm like, man, if I had somebody that could support me on evaluating deals and presenting to me the best ones, that would be amazing. Well, turns out creativity started going. I actually work with one of my coaching clients is a guy named Kevin from SureSwift Capital. Kevin actually has a whole team dedicated to sourcing deals, evaluating them, negotiating them, and doing all the due diligence, etc. And I just called him up one day and said, hey man, I got this crazy idea. What if we partner together? I will bring you a bunch of opportunities. You let me choose get first right of refusals for the ones that I want. I'll pay you a finder's fee for doing all that heavy lifting and distracting your team a little bit. But if I don't buy them and you buy them, you pay me that same fee. So it's win-win. They get more pipeline, I get resources to do all the work, everybody wins. It doesn't cost us anything till we find something amazing. And it just allowed us to take something for me that was maybe next year and bring it forward now because I seen an opportunity in the market. So partner with experience. And number 4, make it win-win. I think one of the biggest challenges for entrepreneurs to get their mind wrapped around is creating scenarios where both people feel like owners. See, the problem is that if you create a scenario where somebody is the owner and the other person's a renter, so that's what employees kind of typically can feel like. They don't feel like they have any ownership of the business. If you're starting a new project, you want to make it so that it's win-win, right? So for example, I'll give you a real world scenario. One of my sales guys, Chris, is an incredible salesperson. Okay, but he's also just as good, if not better, a marketer. He understands our customers' pain because he's talking to them, he's chatting with them, but he's also an incredible copywriter and Facebook ads person. So the way I see it, it's like, hey man, like yes, I need somebody taking sales calls, but at the same time, you've got a unique skill that could allow me to create new campaigns and new offers that allow me to scale that up that could be done independently because he's got this unique skill set, which is the full stack, which is kind of like a unicorn, but yet I've got him focused on doing this one thing. So I said, hey dude, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring somebody on, take care of 80% of your workload today so that you still stay doing the part that you love to do the most, that generates the most economic upside, which is closing in the sales process. And with that free time, I'm gonna get you to focus on coming up with creative ideas to design offers that will serve our customers, stuff we already have that we just haven't put together and put out there to the world. And you're gonna manage all of it, and we're gonna do a rev share on all of that revenue. So that way, the more successful this is, the more you make and the more we obviously collect as a business and revenue. And that to me is about making it win-win. It's trying to be creative in the incentive process so that you're not taking capital and just spending it. Like the way I structured it, essentially, I went over here And well, we both win over here and we both win over there. And if you can figure out creative ways to do that in your business with freelancers, partners, like I did with Kevin, people on Upwork, maybe your friends, people in your world, that is how we will get to the who questions and the solutions faster than continuously going down this path of the how. Because if you do this, and in the book, Dan Sullivan wrote The Who Not How, he actually hired and works with a writer that wrote the book. So he didn't even write the book. It was his strategy, it was his IP, it was his outline, it was his clients the stories were told in the book, but he wasn't even the writer. Imagine that the book itself was a perfect example of the who, not how. I hope this inspired you today to start asking that question a lot more often. So quick recap, 4 key strategies to using who, not how to grow strategically. Number 1, identifying big projects. Number 2, bench strength. Number 3, partner with experience. And number 4, make it win-win. As I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, I want to share with you one of the most powerful trainings I ever did called the Silicon Valley Secrets. Literally the top lessons I learned about company growth that has never been written about in business books, that is 100% pulled from and copied from the world of technology and innovation in Silicon Valley. The smartest minds, the mentors that I've had, extracted into this masterclass. The link is below. You can click that to get access to this exclusive training. And if you like this video, be sure to leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and like and share it with a friend that you think it might serve. And as per usual, I want to challenge you to live a bigger life and a bigger business. And I'll see you next Monday. Is that good right here?